Really important subject. Um, the video is going to be on boundaries. For almost my whole life, and I'm like 31 right now, I had no idea what they were or why you needed them. I've never even heard of setting healthy boundaries with people or unhealthy boundaries or any of that. So when I was about like 29, I started like realizing like certain things happening in my life and people treating me certain ways, and I just couldn't understand why these people were treating me, certain ways. And because I felt like if I was nice to them, they would be nice to me. But no, it just doesn't work like that. So I just remember, getting very, very upset at a certain family member, or family members and friends. But that one particular time, it was a certain family member, and I just could not understand what the problem was when I said no to something. And because that person was so used to me always doing whatever they wanted, they kind of flipped out. And I would do these things whether I felt like it or not, but I just felt obligated to do it, which you should never feel obligated to do nothing that you don't want to do ever. So I was just like, it wasn't that I didn't want to help her, or I couldn't do it. It was just that I couldn't do it. I could not. It was impossible for me to do it. So that's when I started questioning everything. I started questioning just people in general, like what's going on. So I did some research. I went to therapy about it, and I found this thing called boundaries. And I'm like, whoa, what are those? And you know reading about it, and the therapist explaining to me about healthy boundaries and unhealthy boundaries, and how important it is to set those boundaries, because you have to set your own boundaries, because people do not understand your boundaries. And even if somebody is a healthy person, you still have to set boundaries with a healthy person, because your boundaries might differ from theirs, so. But when you're dealing with like a highly manipulative person, someone with like narcissistic personality disorder, or a sociopath, or anything like that, and you are not a strong person, they cross your boundaries like crazy, and you would think you're the crazy one, but because they tell you, oh, you're supposed to do this. This is what you're supposed to do for me. They're entitled to your whatever you have, or just that's just how people like that think. So you have to set boundaries and then be consistent with those boundaries. And those type of people with a personality disorder, or those type of personality traits, they have zero empathy for anyone. So of course they're not going to understand, you, because they don't have feelings. They only feel for themselves. They can't feel for anyone else. So, if you're like a people pleaser, or, you don't really like to say no to people, you should practice saying no, and practice like, and not feeling bad about it, because you're here to live your life and be the best person that you need to be, not to please anyone else. And, for them to be happy, it doesn't work like that. And I still get challenged a lot with trying to have healthy boundaries for myself. Just people always have an opinion about how you should be, or how you should react to certain things, or how you should live your life, or yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, I can care less, because I'm not being selfish, saying, oh, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, but I'm not going to take abuse from anybody. I'm not going to do something that I don't feel comfortable with just to make somebody else happy. That's not, what I'm going to do. And it took me 2 years to actually be consistent with that. Like, it doesn't happen overnight, because it's easy to, when you're like that your whole life, it's like a relapse. Like, you get sucked back into it. But I guess now, and I'm just at a point where I can actually see things before, like, they attack, because I'm aware of it now. So, the way I look at things, and the way, someone who are not aware of boundaries, or not aware of that, they'll look at me like, oh, come on, just do it, and it's just like, why would I do something that I don't want to do? And why would I be around a person who is disrespectful? I have boundaries, and if a person can't respect my personal boundaries, then I cut them off. Like, I can't, I have children, a family that I have to be there for. I can't be there for everybody else, especially if they are a toxic person, or not, just a unreasonable person. So yeah, it's really important to have, healthy boundaries for yourself, regardless of what they are, because everybody boundaries are different. But just try to, first of all, realizing boundaries, and then trying to create healthy ones for yourself, because if you don't, you'll go insane. You'll go insane. You really will, be trying to make everybody else happy and not yourself. It's not healthy at all. And when you're happy yourself, everybody else around you is happy. So, thank you for watching.